particular stream is an extremely special one. First and foremost, it's about my doctorate degree that I'm a twin doctorate from Wisconsin University, Madison, USA. And it's mostly about my 30 plus years love affair with English literature. And today I'll discuss about my research in a deeper detail. It is gender, identity, and sexuality. Like a research that just got me a twin doctorate in English literature as well as psychology. Advik, you're here. So that is nice, always someone the very first to join the stream. And I'm talking English literature today, and I'm talking about my PhD journey and how I have attained that. And even you to take some notes about it in case you want to get into a coveted research. So, take the notes, and even if you will be having certain questions, you can put that on the comment section and do share that stream to the people, and the people will be benefited by this specific element, this particular deal about PhD. And yes, Satvik, I read your message, and three it is, and hope you are well rested and taking care of yourself and enjoying this rainy evening. So, getting back to my doctorate degree, my journey, and my love affair in English literature. So, all I have to tell you is that mostly I was like a PhD at heart always. I used to have a very research oriented approach to reading English and my English literature. So that love affair had always been spot on and prompt. So it's always about the passion that you should have. First and foremost, if we talk about certain pointers that are required, passion is always supreme. You can do great wonders, if you're passionate. So, first and foremost is passion. You have to be like, steadfast and to really take care of, this passion that you have. And, gamer fan, hey, gamer fan, hello. Thank you very much for joining the stream. And I'm discussing my journey as a twin doctorate in English literature as well as psychology from Wisconsin University. And it's always good to find people, and thank you, the 13 of the noble souls who've joined. So, passion is prime. By all means, be passionate in whatever you're doing. If you just want to get into research, so you should have that research aptitude early on, the moment you start studying. So let's talk about my career, like how it began and my initial years as developing great interest in English literature. So back in the day, and oh, that's so nice, game a fan, love to the game better. That's so good that I believe in you to become better. I guess, that's so good. And yes, I guess having that self belief is the most important, that you get better, you keep growing with the process. So process is prime, process is at most, and that's the greatest thing there is. And if I talk about my journey of getting to the doctorate, writing research paper which acclaimed me with an honorary psychology degree, so it really, the seeds were sown early on. I'll tell you, the time when it all started, how I developed my love for English language. Thank you for all the hearts, lovely people. It's so good, for your inspiration, for the encouragement, and your love is the wind beneath my wings. I constantly keep saying that. So, initially, as a schoolboy, I was a very quiet child. Basically, when I was in school, I wasn't one of the most expressive ones. I loved my quietitude. I used to be that kid in a corner, happy, confined in the book. So that's how. the love for the language started, love for reading started. And initially, I was really a toddler in maybe my primary section of the school. My mother was often summoned up at the school, and the teachers used to mostly he hardly expresses himself, and he's not speaking too much in the class, and there's a lot of things that needs to be done. A lot of improvement is required, and definitely very early on, like the as early as in my second grade, in my fourth grade. And since I'm here, I guess I'll surely be mentioning teachers also. And oh, thank you very much, Gamer fan, love to the game. Thank you for subscribing. It really means a lot. And a shout out to the gamer also. We have like three people on the stream at the moment. Please watch his content, subscribe to his channel as well. He might be doing amazing in his channel. So thank you very much, gamer fan. Gamer fan, love to game. Oh, this is so good. It's mostly, you have a very unique channel name. Gamer fan, love to game. Okay, so that's nice. And I'll be watching your content and subscribing to you too. And thank you very much for showering this kind of love, this kind of energy and radiance. And talking about my early school years now, as someone in class second. So Ma'am Nisha was the one, Ma'am Nisha Sharma. She used to write an NS when she used to put the initials. So I would like to say this about her, that she was amazing a teacher. And I guess, okay, that's good, gamer. Go ahead, and whenever you have a channel, I'll be subscribing to it, and that's nice, gamer, and it's so good. So, keep supporting, keep sharing your love. And I guess coming here on this stream would be fruitful. And in case you have other questions, so you can keep writing. And here, subscribers, viewers, the kings and queens of Palace of Words, I would want you to have a very interactive kind of a chat box where you can ask questions. I guess that's something that's prime, asking a question would be nice. You can ask me a question or two. That would really be a big help. And it's very good to interact mostly. That's the most important thing. So, as a little toddler in school, I was hardly expressive and a very path breaking and a defining moment. I'll tell. I was really shy and timid to an extent. Even if I knew something, I wouldn't speak up. I remember in Ma'am Nisha's class, maybe yes, Nisha Ma'am's or Anupma Ma'am's class, second or third. I used to be in DAV Sanjoli school in Shimla. It was DAV Sanjoli back then. Now there's an Institute for Medical Sciences there, and there's Akash Institute there now. So what I used to do was I mostly was a quiet child, never interested to speak. And once it's definitely like maybe it happened 2 decades back, but the memory is so fresh and etched in my mind that once we were doing some chapter in English literature, and I was asked the meaning of peep. So mostly a teacher gave a gesture like peep basically used to look like that, like I'll peep out of the screen, like I just peeped out of the screen. So that's what peeping is, ki jhankna. So that is the main specific thing, that is peeping. So I was peeping, Advik. I'm telling you one funny incident that happened with me. So then it's about like peeping that ways, and I just had to gesticulate. I was like, kind of made to stand in the class, and I was asked that Prince tell us what is peep, and I knew it. I was just looking for a word for it, and I was there standing like a Dumbo, and I just never wanted to gesticulate this. Like I never want to peep and get out of the screen, kinds, as I never want to gesticulate this to my teacher. So she was really taken aback, and out of that very instance, that incident, she summoned my mother to the office, and just she wanted to tell her that I'm not very expressive a child, and I hardly talk. I need to be good in my verbal English. And I listened to it, and my mother had been super supportive, and I guess yes, it's my mother and her devotion which really has helped me succeed in my life. And She was concerned and she really helped me. She personally, used to give me some lessons and she used to always encourage me to speak. And after that, on the growing years, then, the tables turned. Then mostly the thing was he's very good with his, verbal part, but maybe the written part needs improvement now. Then I started to become more expressive and I also started to, get better in the language. And then all thanks to my teachers, I used to get chances in debates, declamations early on when I used to be up with things or the others. So this really created a very good impact, and this really made a wonderful impact. And I guess one teacher personally gave me a chance, and Ma'am Deepti, she has a B.Ed college in Annandale. So I'd like to mention her at the moment that she really also always used to encourage me. She used to always, and I remember she started, preparing me for a debate. And it was mostly amazing and she used to really help. She used to be really kind, and I got that confidence to face the crowd. She used to make me practice in front of the class, and she used to really help me with the pronunciation part. And I guess maybe I was in fourth standard, only fourth or fifth standard. So that was my first exposure to public speaking kind of a thing. And then what happened that after that first exposure, I actually started falling in love with the language a little. So I thought it's a cool thing to do, and it's not as hard as it seemed in the first place. And eventually, I was preparing. I prepared for a good maybe a week or two. I prepared for a declamation, and I had my certain words wrong. Like my pronunciation was like whenever I used to say that, so it used to come dat, dat. So I used to say it as dat. That is the reason. That is the reason. That is the reason. I used to never say the at that. That is the reason. So there were certain things that I was working on. I was struggling with, and due to certain things, I wasn't given this chance to represent my school in the declamation as for a little boy as fourth or fifth. So I didn't know whether that rejection was hurtful at that point of time, but I guess yeah, maybe I just lost a good opportunity. And even Ma'am Deepti tried a lot. Ma'am Vandana was there. They tried to get the best in me, but I just couldn't. So my first inter-school declamation thing and at a tender age was just hampered. I couldn't make it. I didn't qualify. But yeah, the love always remained. All right, Gamer fan, be back. And yes, Advik, I'll get the lights for my mountain bike. Let's see when that time comes. Maybe sure and soon, and we'll go for longer runs, and we can also ride for the longer evenings. Then we'll be doing it. So now, as I'm talking about my PhD, my journey, and my love for language, and after that, I guess I used to be fascinated with the language. I definitely have practiced using the word that about 1 lakh, more than 1 lakh times. So I used to just then what happened when I grew up, I still kept getting chances. I was expressing, I was very cautious about the language because that one instance that happened in my fourth or fifth standard that just, took away a very wonderful opportunity from me, left an impression in my mind that, take language seriously. I started working for it also. And after that, things always were nice. I used to read a lot of texts and I used to, express myself in the best possible way. And I used to be an active debater. I used to take part in debates, declamations, and the like. I used to do things, and my love for the language strengthened all the more. So, this is the part about language. Then I was also like a very good actor. I got an award for good actor in my first standard. I was very expressive and very good looking as I'm now too, and very, amazing an actor. So I used to be in the English plays and things, and I fairly was having a ball of time during my school with the language part. And I used to express myself. I was very good in essay writing, any article writing and things. And my friends also used to encourage me a lot. They used to ask me, they used to take my advice. So then my love strengthened all the more. It really became a thing, and it kind of encouraged me all the more about language. I used to love my literature class, and I used to love all the teachers who used to teach English. Their personality, their aura, they carried a certain sense of panache. They were very good when they used to come to the class, and they used to teach a thing or two. So it was really a wonderful growing up. That was the main idea. And I used to read a lot of literature. And then I was also a good student in my school, and I used to secure well. I used to secure wonderful marks. And then my parents, especially my mother, she wanted me to study medical. Hey, Mr. Anshit Bhardwaj, a dear friend, an amazing filmmaker, is here. Welcome, welcome to the stream. And yes, I had been reading the manuscript of yours, and it was so good. I am in a midway reading it, so I'll just get back and read it. And the gamer fan is back too. So I'm just discussing my PhD right now, my research thesis, gender identity and sexuality right now. And I was in this specific part, that how in my school years my association with the language grew deeper, and I got better at it. At the earliest, and so good that you're here. Whenever there's a friend, there's someone known who enters the stream, it's always my heart knows no bounds, no boundaries. And I'm really addicted to this process of streaming, and I guess I've already got 100 plus hours of live stream on my YouTube now. And I guess I'm now on an average streaming 4 hours daily. I am taking 2 3 sessions, and I'm streaming for an hour or two, maybe twice a day minimum. That's an average, and I'm loving it. It's so good. And now talking about gender identity and sexuality, my PhD. So uh, if I talk about the love for literature, I used to be expressive. I used to try writing poems, and I used to do things. I used to try writing as early as my fourth or fifth standard. I remember Ma'am Vandana telling us to write something, write a poem. And I remember penning down a poem named Long Journey. Like, that was my first title, and I was like maybe as young as fourth or fifth. Teacher was convinced to a level. She literally confirmed that, did you read it somewhere, that it's so good and you're trying? And I was just in my fourth standard. And Ma'am Vandana used to also read from a book, that she used to read us things and stories every now and then. So I'll be eternally thankful to Ma'am Vandana also. Ma'am Vandana and Ma'am Deepti, they were close friends, and I guess I'm still in touch with Ma'am Deepti, and Ma'am Vandana is like a near neighbor. Every now and then, whenever she meets, it's a bundle of joy. So, teachers have a pivotal role in shaping a child's mind and the psyche. I got the best of the teachers. I'm thankful to my teachers who really made me what I'm today, like, a coveted research scholar with, great publications under my name, and, about a few books that are to be authored, and podcasts. So, yeah, it's fun. It's, amazing growing up. So, this was the scenario initially. And after that, I remember writing poetry and things, being an active speaker in debates, declamations, being expressive and loving language. Then I started writing poetry also back in college. Then I won some poetry competitions, and, I used to write, I used to be very good, and I loved language. And I still remember writing my first research paper in my college. There was an inter-college festival, and it was about Dalit literature. So it was basically shortlisted amongst maybe few hundreds of students across Shimla, and I was the one. I was a chosen one, and it got published in a journal at St. Bede's College. So I was so happy, and I thought, literature really creates an impact, and the written word is powerful. It certainly is. And after that, I got my admissions in my masters at HPU itself. I got to HPU, I did my masters, and that was also one amazing literary year of my life. I met some people across different cities, and you're the number one streamer where I got to leave. Hey, gamer fan, thank you for all the love, and yes, stay connected. And thank you for all the encouragement. Bye bye, gamer fan, and all the love to you, and all the good wishes of a great future, abundant health, wealth, blessings, and we'll be in touch. Thank you very much for the subscription, gamer fan. Loads of love to you. So, what happened next? I'll share it. That when I got to my master days, I met people from across, the state, people from across the world. There were a lot of Afghan students in our masters. So when they used to be there, there was a lot of cultural exchange. I still remember Sahar Pakher was like a thing they used to say to hello. And Gamer fan, you're always welcome. And yes, let's connect. Let's be in touch always. And thank you very much. Please be here. Portal is yours. And let's connect and catch up soon. So then, I'll tell you about the journey, about my cultural exchange in the masters. There were people from diverse schools, diverse colleges, diverse interests, and I met a group of friends. They used to just take their literature really seriously, and they were very devoutly and religiously preparing for their net exam. Few of them have maybe got 4 or 5 nets also. They are JRF, they are professors, they're doing so good in life, and they are just amazing. So they shaped me. They told me the value of hard work, because sometime reality check is important. Like, I had great fun in my college days and in my master days also, and I am the best in English literature. It is a fact. I believe that with all my heart. And I used to always believe it back then also, that okay, English literature is synonymous to Abhishek Prince. And that was my arrogance. I was so vainglorious, and I never used to devote a lot of time in reading the text, and I was not working. Whereas all my friends, they were working day and night. They were putting their heart and soul to grasp English literature, know it deeply, and get all the facts and just clear their net. And I guess almost all of them are now educators, professors, assistant professors. And then I used to love literature. Like, for me, it was a love affair. It wasn't any kind of a subject. It wasn't an eligibility for me to crack my net exam, do my JRF exam. But I used to love it for loving's sake. Like the poetry, I loved reading between the lines. So, the main idea was to just love literature, read, and I used to read anything and everything. For me, it wasn't just about my syllabi or the text, which I was least bothered of. I used to read Beat Generation, I used to read On the Road, I used to read, about Agora, I used to read all the books that I loved. I used to read a lot of spirituality, a lot of travelogues, a lot of inspiration and self-help. So I wasn't just inclined to Shakespeare or inclined to, Emily Bronte or the classics in literature, but beyond that, especially the woke literature, the ultra modern age and all the modern texts and everything that stimulates me, that makes me more creative. So that was, the initial thing of mine. I got done with my master's. And back in the day, I was also, I had a deteriorated mental health. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I had a borderline bipolar disorder. My mood swings became terrible. So I wasn't having a very good time. I was just done with my master's. It was 2018. And after that, it was like everyone was doing something or the other. Like, people are maybe switching, getting into MBA, getting into things, getting into BEd, preparing for net and things. So maybe out of this, mob mentality kind of a thing, or I had nothing better to do, a dear friend of mine just recommended coaching, that let's go and crack it, let's coach for it and things. And I was like, okay, got nothing better to do. And then in my final semester, like, I was overall like an average student and maybe 50s 40 50s 60s kind of marks. In my final semester, I had a compartment in 2 subjects. Like, I didn't clear that. That was the greatest shock of my life, that hey, I failed what I am best at, what is synonymous to me. English literature is synonymous to Abhishek Prince, and Abhishek Prince has failed his MA exam. So it was very comical and hard to believe also. And I was like, man, how could this be? Something shattered, something in me changed. So I applied for my revaluation. Obviously, like I passed my MA after that, but then coaching thing was instilled. Someone told me, a friend of mine said, we'll coach for net, we'll become professor, this, that, blah, blah. So then I thought, okay, maybe a change of place would be really helpful. I moved to Chandigarh from Shimla. I took coaching, and then I wasn't happy. And the coaching process was very good. Like, okay, let me not get into the academy and things. And where I coached from, whom I coached from, I coached from good people, good academy, but I wasn't happy. I just kind of, because coaching relied on the only fact about clearing the exam. That's the reason why coachings are made for. But I was a lover. I wasn't like a pleaser. I wasn't a suitor, but I was actually the soulmate of English literature. So I was least bothered in, knowing the chronology, knowing things. I basically I didn't work up a lot. And it's as said, empty mind is the devil's workshop. My mental health really deteriorated. I gave in, there were some basic breakdowns and things, some, delulu kind of a stuff that happened. And I wasn't the happiest. Those were the terrible years of my life. Year 2019. One of the best years of my life also. I'll tell you why best. I got introduced to Bharat Soka. I got introduced to Buddhism. So that was like the turning point. And I got back home midway. I left my coaching, and then I was at home relaxing, trying to, be in a better state of mind. Appeared for some state level exams, cracked my prelims and all, and I was just, figuring out what to do. And later, then what happened? I I was associated with a company during my masters, the final of the masters. There was this travel company that, made me meet a lot of people from abroad and, interact with them. So travel had been my thing, adventure had been my thing. So I was doing certain projects, thing or two, I was doing one thing or the other. And I was enjoying, I was having the cheap thrills, I was having a ball of my time. And maybe then I did write my net exam, but to be honest, I never prepared for it. And that's such a paradox and an irony. Like, I am a teacher now, I'm an educator, and I'm training students for net, but then I never qualified it in the first place. I never appeared for it with the might of qualifying an exam to study diligently for it. I just let it be, basically. I just let it keep going. And I drifted through these years. 19 was a harsh year. It just went by. I found my spiritual practice. I started chanting Namyoho Renge Kyo. I became a practitioner. Things were good. And then it was 2020, the year of the pandemic. COVID hit. Everything was on a standstill. I got back to Bagi, my safer haven. And for me, not a lot of things changed. That used to be a lifestyle, literally. I hardly used to socialize a lot. I never used to go out. I never used to go places. I was doing my own things. And then I just got a chance. I got a little time to think, and I started writing my research papers. It was a lot about travel first, it was a lot about poetry. I wrote about everything and anything. I literally have submitted it to every university in the world. Trust me, I'm not bragging or boasting. 150 of them are for sure. Like, I sent it to over 150 universities. So that is like across the globe. I send my research paper. I try to put into the right tables where I get good acclaim. Kind of, maybe considered for research for my PhD. I get a seat in my PhD with a vision, of course. And the new education policy had been introduced by then, and it just said that, now the MPhil is being scraped out and you can directly enroll yourself to PhD after your master's. I did appear for the PU entrance test for masters, DU entrance test, JNU entrance test, to fail it all, of course. Didn't prepare it diligently. It was bound to happen. So I wrote a lot of research pieces in gender identity and sexuality, which earned me my twin doctorate, was one of the papers. And it was out of 2020 was the time when I sent my papers to certain universities, and 2021 was the year when they reverted to my paper that we can consider you for a PhD. Like, there was no acceptance letter, there was no admission, there was a consideration. They told me to plan for like research proposal and thing. They kind of they wanted me to polish it and write a brief synopsis about it and the text that I'm considering and the things that I'm doing, and they were keen to have it. And I started doing things like, and because obviously it was one of the 150 universities that was interested, the only one rather. I got no call or no acceptance from any of the other universities. So then I didn't knew about Wisconsin University back then, that it's an American university, it's based in medicine. So then that was the thing. And Advik, yes, of course, thank you very much for asking there. I've just dined and I thought to, pull in early today on the stream. I dined way too early, around maybe 6:30ish kind of a time. I dined, and then I'll tell you what happened. As soon as I got the acceptance of PhD from Wisconsin University, they were like, okay, and you kind of do this, we'll help you with the research and we'll help you with everything. Faculty there was great, everyone was top notch. And then they just, had this condition, as I was writing my research paper and all, I had a little tuition fee to pay, of course. So it was around close to 4.5 INR that I had to pay for my PhD. And I was like back then thinking that how do I arrange this? How do I get the funds? And it's just, COVID and nothing's happening. And I don't want to be a burden to my parents. In my head, I was a grown up lad. I wanted to do things all by my own. So, a wonderful individual named Shalini, she helped me in some content writing gigs and things. She approached me for her IELTS examination. So I was familiar about IELTS. My elder sister she used to, teach IELTS. She still does. So I knew, what IELTS is, what it has. It's about English language. I knew a bit about it back then in 2020, of course, 2021. That was the time I started coaching Shalini for IELTS. She was a dear friend. She's also the part of Palace of Words, by the way. So as to just so the greatest breakthrough happened when I got a chance to work in a boarding school. So in the boarding school, it was Roots. It's a school in Bagi itself, run by my cousins, and they were running the school, and they're still running it. They're doing a commendable job. So pandemic time, everything's on a standstill. My adventure thing is no more operational. And then I got a chance to be a boarder in school. I never attended boarding. My mother once considered me to send me to Sujanpur Tira, where I wasn't convinced, and that wasn't destined back in the day and age. And I never made it to Sujanpur Tira. I never even appeared in the exam and things. I was a sickly child. I used to be pampered like hell. I still am at times, I guess. So then what happened was, what came to the fore was my selection in the boarding school as an educator. So I really relived my boarding days. It was so, fun filled. It was divine and vibrant, and I get to live that those years which I missed as a student, as a boarder. But I had a ball of time being like a mentor at a boarding school. It was a great learning experience. And that also meant that, okay, I'm also getting something, I'm getting paid. And then initially I could get a traction. I was doing my PhD back then, and I also get a time to research and write and observe. But obviously, it was the work and things were there, but the idea was nice, and even that was monetarily very fruitful for me. And I then thought that 4.5 lakhs are now few months away as to do that kind of like affirmations. I was also training and teaching students for IELTS whenever I used to get time, and teaching at school. things were happening, and I just got a chance to polish my research. And I should always try to, sit in the library, help the boarders with their work, and keep writing and doing something about the research. I did my thorough research in my days as an educator at the boarding school. I was, high on research back then. And then I also started earning by the grace of God, and things, eventually, fall out the right way. And after that, it was in the mid 2021. Then I had to leave the school for the same sake, as I was having a nobler mission, a higher purpose than serving there. And I started my PhD journey. I wrote my thesis, my research paper, day in and day out. I used to work. I used to work, literal work. I used to study. I used to, scroll some great books and things, and I used to polish it day in and day out. So that's a journey altogether, a different one, a beautiful one, journey altogether. So after that, it was 2022, and my parents also wanted me to get a B.Ed for some reason, and I was like, okay, I'm getting my PhD already, but what's B.Ed? And I just got, I fell in love with pedagogy as a boarding school teacher. I had been teaching earlier also in different capacities in education centers. I was tutoring Mansi, my younger sister, back in the days of the school. So that seed was there, that love for the teacher already was there. And then I enrolled myself for B.Ed, like in a correspondence program only. So now I was doing two correspondence degrees, my PhD as well as my B.Ed. So B.Ed also involved me to, go to Chandigarh for exams in my first semester. So I went, I did it from KU, and I just stayed there. I chose to stay there rather than getting back home. I had nothing specific to do. I just had to do my research, and I had to write my research paper. So I thought Chandigarh would be an ideal place to, write it and be there for a while. And then I also took up a job in Chandigarh as an IELTS trainer the moment my exams were done. It is, I guess, even this is around 2023 now. It's 2023. Specifically, it's late 2022 and 23, like maybe in October. I went there around, say, August 2022. I went to Chandigarh. I gave my exams and everything. Everything happened wonderfully. And then I also got a chance to take up a job as an IELTS trainer. And it was fun. It was earning. I was loving that sense of independence. I was away from home, and I put up with my brother there in Chandigarh. It was fun. I loved those days. I spent around 2.5 years there, got my B.Ed, got my PhD too, of course. My research was done. And then that flow of income kept coming, and I got this kind of an eligibility. I applied for an education loan, and I paid my fee at WU. So this PhD dream, came to a fruition. I fruitfully achieved and secured my PhD. And my heart knew no bounds, of course. It was so amazing. It was fun filled. It was divine. It was, one of the best feelings ever. I loved it. I had secured it. I had earned it. And to top it up, the cherry on the cake was I just didn't get an English literature PhD degree, but I also got a degree of PhD in psychology. They got me an interdisciplinary honorary doctorate in psychology too, because of my coveted research in gender identity and sexuality. So now to the main thing, that what all my research consists, how it became too pathbreaking to earn me not one but two PhDs. Because gender is a concept, it's not just a social construct, and gender is a choice. That is the crux of my thesis, that, gender identity means a body, an individual decides who is he or she or they or them, like what his or her gender is. So I've talked about gender in it in greater detail, and gender as a choice, and, not just a matter of social construct or a biological construct, but a choice. And about sexuality, again, I believe in like individual choices. Their body, they are the one to decide whether, someone's a heterosexual or a homosexual or maybe an intersex or asexual, whatever the thing is, the LGBTQI things. So I have, kind of made it more liberalized a term. I've kind of, did a great liberalization of it all. And this is again, it had a lot of elements of psychology also, psychoanalysis also. So it's mostly a psychological kind of a concept too. Then I got this coveted degree, and the best part of doing research was, my perspective shifted. I became an analytical thinker. I used to, see for the pros and cons of the things, and the way I read changed, the way I see things changed to the greatest of extent. And I'm still, working with some mentors, writing some more research programs also in close quarters. So I'm doing my things. But above all, the greatest takeaway is love. If you love your subject, you are totally devoted to it, I guess nothing in the world is going to stop you. No power is going to stop you, and you'll always ace it. You will become the best at whatever you are up to. You will just give it your best, and the main idea is always improvement. That whatever you're doing, do it in the best possible way. So, even I would like to share this to you about my inspirations behind picking up this topic, this great topic about gender identity. Because, see, there's always like a stigma that we've built around gender. Women have to be a certain way, women have to be a certain way, men have to love blue, women have to love pink, and men don't cry, and this and that. Men have to be dominant, they have to be alpha, they have to be warriors, and women have to be timid and shy, they have to be like a lady, and blah blah blah, boo boo boo, a lot of it. A lot of gung ho about gender. So it used to always intrigue me. And there was a neighbor of mine. He's an iconic fashion designer. He had his, gender change surgery, and he was a he, like born as a boy. Now he's like, she. He's converted his gender totally. So I just happened to attend a birthday party. I was maybe around fifth, sixth. I was a little toddler. I was invited to the birthday party. My next door neighbor, and he was dancing there, and he was dancing like a girl. Maybe it was some item song, and he was a boy only. And it was weird at first place, but the lachak in his kamar, and he was awesome with dance and things. So we were like, okay, that it might be a thing. And mostly he was very silent and used to hardly interact and all back then. And he was very, there's a word called effeminate, like ladylike when it's for the males. This term is mostly used with males only, I guess. Effeminate, ladylike qualities he had. He exuded them, his grace and the walk, and he was very soft spoken, and things. So I was like, okay, this might be a thing, it might be a style or so, or he might be dancing a certain way for such and such reason. So seeing him, the main thing was that I found it out that he had undergone a sex change surgery, which backfired, which didn't go as planned. And I was like, okay. And I was very cool with it that his body, his choice. And I was, there was a lot of backlash also I faced because of it. They were like, no, it's not good, as people always bring out the stereotypes, this is not nice, it's not normal and things and all. It's weird or it's funny, whatsoever they say. And I was like, okay, this is the way of life for individuals, and it's that guy who's going to decide whether he wants to be a guy or a girl or whatsoever. The thing is, so that one individual is a striking inspiration behind my thesis. And you won't believe this matter of providence. Back in the day and age, when I was just doing my thesis, I used to also I still do. I don't know why I cater to a lot of male attention. I get great male attention, and people always approach me as suitors. I don't know why. I've shared this with my family, with my sister, and she's like, work on your personality, man. Why you appear to be effeminate, or you appear to be weak, or why people are approaching you as like, gay or a homosexual. What's the thing? And I was like, maybe their choice, and who am I to say that? But the idea was, then it's around. It's, normal. It's normal in a way, like it's now accepted by the law also. And, there are people, gays and lesbians are around us. They exist, of course. And that's again a choice, matter of choice also. You can never, you know, challenge preference. Purush and Prakriti are important, like it takes a man and a woman to birth a child. But that's how the niyam, as we say it, okay, this is the law or the nature or the rule, whatever we call it. But if a man is loving a man, how do we stop him? If a girl is loving a girl, how do we stop her too? If someone is an asexual, what can we do about it? It's the way they are, it's the way people are. I accept it completely. I'm authoring a book called Colors. It talks about gender identity and sexuality in a greater detail. That's one thing. That's also the product of my award winning, my accrediting thesis, my twin doctorate research, gender identity and sexuality. And I guess it's been there since ages. People have been like, a gay or a lesbian or a this or a that, and well, see, that's how the scenario is. And it has got a lot of historical context also, each to his or her own. That's a thing. And I'm now creating an outreach in different colleges and different schools across the world about my research. And at times, students also say, "No, sir, we just need a boy or a girl in our home, not a gay or a lesbian." Uh, Maybe it's again no one. We are not the one to decide. Maybe our children, what their sexual orientation would be, what someone likes, what someone hates. That's always a case. That's always a thing. We do not have a control on anyone's choice, and that's exactly what gender identity is. That's exactly what sexuality is. So my particular thesis is a discourse on choice, discourse on acceptance, and now it's a common norm. It's accepted worldwide, and now we have come over from this ling bhed ladka ladki. We're living in 2025. अब सभी एक समान है, लड़का लड़की, ट्रांसजेंडर, गे, लेस्बियन, इंटरसेक्स, लाइक बहुत सारे, अब तो बहुत सारा डोमेन है उसमें, द एंटायर प्राइड. And there's nothing wrong in it also. So let's normalize it, let's debunk the myth, let's break the stigma that, let's inclusivity means everyone's included, plus in LGBTQI plus means inclusivity. It is a symbol of inclusivity, that all of the people are included, whatever they are. They identify themselves as a unicorn, they identify themselves as a bull, whatsoever it is. It's their own choice, it's their own ideas, it's their own things, it's their own thought processes. So this is what the real deal is about gender identity, about sexuality, and about writing a research. Obviously, there's umpteen of things to now write. There are some literally, wonderful AI tools where you can polish your research, you can write it better, you can make it bigger. So it's about, the thought process. I'm proud of what I've done. I've really got a lovable research. It has, got me all the acclaim in the world, and it's taken me places. I'm so grateful, and this literally love continues overflowing. That's the thing, and I really will be taking it places because I feel that if you love it, you share it, and the happiness is only real when it's shared. You share it with the world. We get married to our significant other, we get married to the right person, and we share it. We have a great celebration, and we celebrate it in front of the world. We kiss the bride, kiss the groom in front of the world. So whatever you love has to be nurtured, it has to be celebrated. That is one important thing. And many more research papers to come, many more things to be done. And I'm already planning my PhD in economics too. I'm writing some research papers on economics, and I love to be always studying in my life. I'm learning finance these days. And above all, I want to, put all the power to Palace of Words. And I'm building up my AI school, which is one of a kind. I'm building up a pre nursery to PhD portal and doing my things, enjoying the journey also, because it's about loving what you do and doing what you love. That's the only way to greatness. Journey has to be enjoyed, it has to be nurtured, and it also has to be taken places. It really has to be like a thing worth doing, it really has to be something that is always better, something that is amazing, something that is inspiring. And if you have the right kind of focus, your conviction and intention are top notch and they are great. So nothing in the world is ever stopping you. Trust me, have a heart that this is thing, hit your wagon to a star and you surely get it. The main idea is to have a roadmap of your career. Whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you have your heart on, you get it done always. You just get it done sure and soon. So this is one idea that I had in gender identity and sexuality. It was a study, it was a discourse on gender studies. It talks about the woke culture, about, the intertextuality and the sexual politics, and, basic paradigms of gender as a concept, gender as a matter of choice. So it's a very vivid research, and I guess do read it, and I've enlisted it on the portal of WU, and it will be available and accessible for you soon on the online portal of the university. And I guess we can definitely see it as like a matter of choice also, gender as a matter of choice also, not just a social context, and let people live. I mean, who are the ones, who are we to comment about someone's sexuality or someone's orientation in life or someone's opinion about gender or someone's bias? No one, right? So we have got this power to be who you want to embrace the others also, to embrace everyone's uniqueness, because obviously we are all unique. And such a paradoxical sentence it is. We are all unique. Doesn't then uniqueness becomes a cliche? We are all unique, right? So all in one and one in all. So idea is to let it be. Let the cultural revolution and the rebellion be there, and let people decide for what they want to do, how they want to do it. What is their idea of gender? What is their idea of love? Because, we have got no right, I guess. Who are we to decide? So this is like the core as I wanted to talk about. I'll publish my entire research in the description. I'll share the link with you. You can read it. You can also, do the literature review of it. That'll be nice. And you can just let me know how you like it. So I guess, yeah, it'll be something worth it. And to more research in the time to come. And now, as it's my birth month, I have this great announcement, a great news to share. On the 23rd of August 2025, we at the Palace of Words are conducting a cleanliness and a tree plantation drive. And also, since it's a Noble Day, we're doing a noble cause. So we have got Power the Plant initiative. It's also called Fund the Plant initiative. So here, basically, in this revolution called the Power the Plant, what we at Palace of Words do is that we are all assembling in Shimla. We are conducting this cleanliness and tree plantation drive. But I know, world is a big place, though it's said world is a small town now due to digitalization, due to the automation that's happening. So there are noble souls across the globe. They've spread across the globe in the world. Since they cannot be physically available for the cause, for the tree plantation, for the cleanliness drive, so we've come up with this concept called Power the Plant. In powering up a plant, all we mean is that wherever you are, in whichever part of the world, you can pay us a rupee 100. And that rupee 100 would make you a sapling owner at the Power Forest. So basically, our tree plantation initiatives will always, or it will fall under a portal called Power Forest. And power, by the way, is Palace of Words Educational Reserve. So here in the Power Forest, I'll tell you what to do. We'll be going on a noble cause on 23rd of August 2025. That is my birthday also. I turned 30. I'll be celebrating 30th birthday on the day, and we'll be planting, you know, hundreds of trees, hundreds and hundreds of plants and saplings and trees. That day we'll be going on for the cleanliness drive. And the people who wants to, be empowered and who wants to be the part of this divine initiative, and they're not here, they're not around in Shimla, or they cannot join us offline, do not be disappointed. Do not be disappointed, noble ones, kings and queens of Palace of Words. We've come up with this thing that you power your plant. You pay us a rupee 100 per sapling. For example, an XYZ person, a person named Litty, Mr. Litty or Miss Litty, it's a very, gender friendly name. So Litty just paid us rupees 500 INR. So Litty now has 5 saplings. Litty is the owner of 5 saplings at the Power Forest. For that, Litty would be accredited and certified, and Litty would constantly be, till the end of time, getting the idea and the analysis of her saplings. This is the idea of Power the Plant initiative, where you can just help us, you can sponsor a meager sum of rupee 100 per sapling and own the Power Forest. Help us in the smooth conducting of the tree plantation drive. So also, whatever fund we raise, the major part of it would go to Uttarkashi and Himachal, cloudburst victims. We have the tie-up with the government of Himachal Pradesh and government of Uttarakhand. And even if we have like a better revenue, we ourselves pledge here on the live stream, and obviously you'll be seeing it in the time to come. We personally will visit these places where such a tragedy has struck. We'll go to Tarkashi, we'll go to Mandi in Himachal, and we'll try to help, and we'll see what can be done. And we'll also keep giving you an entire update about the money that you donate us, that what's happening with the money. We'll undertake a very healthy and a happy and a hearty tree plantation drive called Power Plant, and in the Power Forest. And we also do this wonderful bit that if we have like a good number, maybe we have a good budget of good money, so the major part of it will be donated to these victims of cloudburst in Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. So support us, show your love, and join us. It'll be amazing to have you in person. It'll be amazing to have your support. And 23rd August 2025 is the date. Saturday is the date. We power the plant in the Power Forest. So we want you in hordes. We want your great love, great support, and it's such a blessing that support is already there. We've got good charity, and there are people who want to do it in entire confidentiality. They do not want to create a gung-ho of it, that who donated how much money, but they're just willing to do it for a cause. So let's stand now. Let's stand vis-a-vis in terms with humanity. Let's make this, Power the Forest initiative a reality, and let's do these great things. And I guess world is our oyster. We need to make it better. World is our home too. So let's power it up. Let's make it even better. Let's make it brilliant. And let's get all the good karma, and let's act. I see a lot of surge of creators who are crying these days. Oh my God, bad happened. This shouldn't have happened. It happened due to this thing. That was the reason behind it. But no one is willing to get their hands dirty. It's our home. We've lived here. Our ancestors used to live here. Our future generations will live here too. So let's safeguard it. Let's support the climate. Let's do the causes like tree plantation, do the causes like, cleanliness drives. Let's try to reduce our carbon footprint. Let's love nature. Let's love environment. Let's make it an initiative that will be endearing, that will be empowering, and it will actually be a cause. So we are up to it, and we are planting as many trees as we can plant on the 23rd of August this year. And as a naturalist, as an environmentalist, as a mountaineer, as the lover of nature, at every admission and enrollment that we get at Palace of Words, I pledge 1,000 trees. 1,000 tree for every enrollment. We have close to, great number of students. We have around hundreds of them. Those have been connected with Palace of Words. So the onus is on me to plant 1 million trees every year and plant 1 billion trees in my lifetime. So come up, let's join the revolution because I cannot do it alone by any means. So I want the love, I want the support of incredible and noble souls like you all. And I really have to make this initiative a successful one. We really have to make this initiative a successful one. And I guess this cause will empower us. It will make us human for real. So let's all gather up and stay tuned for all the details, and let's make this a massive hit. Please have the official account of the Meher Foundation. You can show your support and UPI us to +91 78075 57619. The details would be in your description. Come up, come forth with this mission and the vision and make this really a beautiful reality. Because a dream alone is a dream, but a dream together is reality. So we are doing it on 23rd of August. We are doing it for nature. We are doing it for our Mother Earth. And we are also doing it for the downtrodden, for the deceased, for really those, souls who are really in pain because of these natural disasters, which are just caused by no one else but human. We are making it happen. We are painting the town green on 23rd of August 2025 this year. Kindly join the revolution and let's make it real. And let's, try and let's make this a better place to live in, a better planet to live in, and let's be human for real. So let's power a plant and let's, start and establish a braver, newer world for the future generations to come. And we are meeting, and I would definitely be love to say it on a concluding note that together let's strive to build this world better, greener, more beautiful and divine. We all have the potential, we all have the caliber, we all have the energy, and let's show it with our actions. No matter how noble we talk, it's the actions we do that make us. Maybe a seminar or a deliberation about environmental protection is not as effective as planting one tree is, or picking one little plastic wrapper and dumping it wisely, putting it on your pocket and dumping it the right way is. Because I've read someone say that an ounce of action is always worth more than the mile of intention. So let's all power up. Let's all come together and create this green revolution on the 23rd of August 2025. We would be looking for your unflinching support. We would be looking for you in hordes and power up the Power the Plant initiative at the Power Forest. Thank you very much for sticking around. Thank you very much for listening to the stream. And yes, together, let's build our palace of words bigger, better, and divine. Har Har Mahadev. कैसी थी